people on the earth they thought so many things, right? And then they thought evil thing about the God seeing the God, okay, telling to the the God telling to the Noah. Okay, here is the I want to read for you a little bit. Double talk a little bit. Teniya ye or hip padku. This was see the door. Bakala Pakanyote pa atasukumo sukuma la damupo. Pagdema atasukumo de famida toloni. Pero headed ku talkite simple. Bamunule Pakanyote pani sukumo lotala awame poila. Pagdema away color the juapo. Okay, color the juapo suktene. Bethinyalo, the Sayati Loda, the God creation later than and then they calling themselves. Okay, they are the son of God. Later than they do evil thing, they thought evil thing. Kasa tilo wuli, the kasa you are hilo with a wet data sudamoli, licking it over the color with the thala juapo, licking it up a thin yal, a wet the pani, succomoda tata tolo, kasa you are pushicolo, a winning meet at the misicolo, pacropatu parasicolo. Hey, pero le pakwa tagitaklo kaidisible. I want to read for you about the here. Genesis chapter 6, verse 5 talk about that. The Lord saw how great man's weakness on the earth had become, and thus every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil all the time. Thought only evil all the time. Okay, we should think about here inclination of the thought. Inclination means very important thing. They wanted the feeling or they thinking something, all right, because they want us to. Here, I want to read for you about the thing. Pero le pakwa tapita mala, pa krasukumoni, pa giteta mala, but tahutakit pamitala, agi, taitakus kaisikolo. Payne. Le Peter Mala le demonstrate settle who a several yenny get to tara poli tight calo. Do you are too well pacanyo atade bani, me a doula haku clerdera. Do haku clerd, doka ye ataku sukumula atate milalane, me teta toko muni munadilo. A sukumola atate milalane, me teta toko muni munadilo. Awani pakro patu patalo betamo puno, ataku sukumoni. Pakro patu patala betamo pu. Leta itaklur kai, pakro lequa, pakro sukumoni long. But I'm gonna pakka silo patala per me pola agiwa. We can talk in ourselves, we are the good person, right? This is this wrong thing we calling ourselves. We are the son of God, we calling ourselves too. Here is I want to read for you the more about here. Genesis chapter 6, chapter 8 verse 21 talk about a little bit here. Genesis chapter 8 verse 21 talk about here. The Lord smelling the pleasing aromas and said in his heart, never again will I curse the ground because of man, even though every inclination of his heart is evil from childhood, and never again will I destroy all living creature as I have done. Never again. The God never again cursed the people. Okay, because also the God smelling something. Okay, God's pleasing. You know that this is a mean that Noah building the altar and then sacrifice, burning the offering to God. This is a mean that God smelling the great thing people doing. That's why the God never ever do it again. Okay, to the people. When you put patu patala batamu pulo patahu tage le patapitama pusikolom. When you put lepakwa pay to se putama tatir panem. Deva boiler minute pain it devera little say a sado who a sapo pagama kissiter katutarapoa le demonstrate solo sorry demonstrate solo suppose kisitor ni katuta ro pa le minute mi le pakra le kwa phane te se phota ma ta tin pha ne di sit ko le ta ho ta ge ni lo do yua phane ro yua ne tho ta na mu do yua si le ataki pu pa ka nyo ataku tho ta ma a so le a phota khwa tho li ba sa do ye te su le ta pa ne su le ta no le ba hoku le pa ka nyo aku ba do ye te klo le ba ke ye ta ta di jamati to ne ba lo ye te klo lo ba ye te ma lo ba ye te ma ti we ti lo ba no so no a so ne pati nya le okay pha ne ka sa yo sin yo ku we pwa to ti pha do sa bu ko phu ti pha le ku we pha ne te blo ko you know that in the Noah's generation and then the gods clean us everything an evil person, only Noah's family led. We know about it in the Bible, talk about it. You want to read, you can read it about the Genesis chapter 6 in there. You can read in there, okay? Okay, I want to read more about a little bit here. Okay, another one is the Deuteronomy chapter 29 verse 19. Talk about a little bit. I want to read for you here. 29, okay, verse 19. When such a person has the words of the oath, he invoke a blessings on himself and therefore thinks I will be safe even though I praise in going my own way. This will bring disaster on the watering lands as well as the drying. As well as the drying. Such a person has, exactly, the word of the oath. We should think about carefully here a little bit. Pende pakra sukumuta la patamu puni pakra patu patala patapita mapu mi taptami le pakaba sukumani payni leyamo se so kisikui support sikui ne katuda rapalo do tu ana huta su attack to do ta kama atala akasugi o atala ataki pu do kasi yemi leda la yata ko ditu yekepa tanamu tila ta tu yata la ti apoko nadkiro yeka ohu opolo yeka ohu opolo. Hi my friends, okay, hi. Away ni mitala tahuta pulo, okay. Pagdada mala pamena huta sura tuda basanaki pakro ohu opu le tai takru khai baba thinya lo patane lo. Away ni mitala olo tirpala kasajwa olo tane lo. Okay, I want to read for you about the little bit here. Okay, and the Proverbs chapter 6 verse 18 talk about a little bit here. Proverbs chapter 6 verse 18 talk about I heard that devise the wicked scheme. Feet that are quick to run into evil. Okay, run into evil. When you begin my he Play a corny he play lurta or dathobu. Feet that are quick to rush into evil. When you pick up a tupatala, patamu pusiko, lepatapitama, lepatataki pusiko. Okay, my friends, my brother and sister, we should think about carefully. When you leave to do a set of who a support sikok to what I law, Paula athala akuta to a collar a hita key suta when they meet a pacanyo at sukumani a heart that devise weakest scheme. Pagatan mala a one kuta utato okay kuta atane kuta akhone lera le pegitera mala kama ma sora okay akhone ma kama ma sora na atane tura le ta to okay me dine ro pekle kwa sepo okay pagno atata sukumoni uwedile ni pa patio wili basana ki pe ro phagiro no okay Matthew chapter 15 then verse 90 talk about for out of the heart can even thoughts murder adultery sexual immorality thief false testimony slander this thing about all things the people talk okay people talk in the whole world they talk we should think about the false testimony and the slander thief okay and the adultery this out of their heart people heart okay when they pakro patu patalo batamo pu le ta he tho le patu ki ta le pu ni pa kanyo atasu ko mo owe to e basaro yo at sinyo khao lo ba le ta no khu da ro pakro patu patalo batam pu lo yo at ma thi yo lo me mat de ni yo at sinyo le pu ku le so no a aso lo ba pe ne pakle kwa pe ni tebra di le Matthew si sever sequin tebra di lo agidi I taku to ta ma bi ba ganyo ta ebi ebe ta ma kama kwa ta hu ta blata ta u ata ka bli bla ta du du e tir pha ni he tho le patta ki bu lo he tho lo patta ki bu pa u ta ka bli bla okay pete pa na hu da pa u ta li a me lo a ba lo le ki ro pa ba sa ba o shi ko din ne to ta u ta ka bli bla okay ta u ta ka bli bla ne pe ke de ma lo pa bli da o Mexico, pena pa yo pa kira o Mexico. Pasa na ke pa me kwara le ka sa yo ara ka pani patama ni ma. Okay, Lord up to God. Okay, don't do okay wrong thing. Okay, this is the right you have to choose. Hi, my friends, everyone. Today I'm reading about the Genesis chapter 6 verse 5 and written there. Okay. Every people thought is inclination of the thought of his heart evil thing. Remember, my friends and my brother, nobody thought the right thing. Remember this. Every person want to reach, right? Yes, I want to reach you. Every person just like want to stay calm and then living happily. Okay, that's the same thing we want to. And then you know that nobody wants living miserable life. This is a minimum. But think about by yourself in your lifetime. Don't steal, okay? Don't steal, thief, never do this. And the false testimony, don't do that. Don't slander. Slander is very important in the earth because first slander coming later than the false testimony, later than the doing wrong more than this. Okay, thank you so much, my friends and my brother and sister. God bless you. God will show you the right thing in your lifetime. Okay, moya sugitu moya kedune tila tamita tolo tutamo punit. Bye bye.